Bienvenidos. Welcome to another episode of my Stairwell Teatro. Today, I'd like to give a big shout out to my global research partners. What? Yes, I have a global research team. It consists of people like you, folks who watch my videos or who read my blog, who send me interesting stories about names. This past Monday was a red letter day. First thing, I check my email and I hear from Maria in Tucson. She says, "So enjoying your Stairwell Teatro, keep them coming. This weekend we learned our niece is expecting a girl." So she then goes on to tell me she goes to her favorite website to look for a gift, and she comes across a book called My Name is Maria Isabel. If only I'd had such books when I was growing up. Oh well, I'm so pleased to know they now exist. I totally feel what Maria's saying, because when I grew up, we didn't have books that had kids that looked like us or whose stories bore any relationship to the kind of lives we had. But today, that's different, and that's wonderful that kids can see themselves in books and that kids can see others who aren't like them in stories that they can also relate to. And it isn't just about kids. It's wonderful as adults that we can read literature, we can read stories about people whose lives are quite different from ours. Another email in my inbox on Monday was from Julie, who lives in Albany. She'd clipped this from the East Bay Times, and it was a woman writing to Miss Manners, saying that she'd been married for 7 years to a man who'd grown up in a rural, homogeneous white community, and that it troubled her that her in-laws could never remember the name of her parents and siblings. She herself was from a Southeast Asian immigrant family. Every visit is peppered with, "What's your sister's name again? Help me with your dad's name." This is exhausting. I've already allowed them to call me by a shortened, anglicized version of my name for their convenience, and I fear losing my temper the next time they need help. Gentle reader, send them a primer. Before the next visit, Miss Manners suggests you type out their names with their phonetic pronunciation. That way, when they ask, you can good-naturedly tell them, "Now, Carly, you know we went over this. I sent you all of the names before, remember? It would mean so much to us if you pronounce them correctly. They work so hard learning to pronounce yours." The third and fourth emails on Monday were about a story in the Sunday New York Times Arts and Leisure section called The Mrs. Files. And this was sent to me by friends in Saginaw, Michigan, thank you, Librado, and also Suzanne in Mill Valley. The New York Times has an archival research project. They're looking at the millions of photographs they have in their files and exploring how women have been identified, that many prominent women were referred to by their husbands' names. For example, Frida Kahlo's pictures had written in the back or were filed under Mrs. Diego Rivera. Amelia Earhart wrote to the Time asking that they not refer to her as Mrs. George Palmer Putman, and that her husband was in agreement with her request that they call her by her professional name. Projects such as these tell us how our society is changing and how our values and mores and our understanding about how to treat each other are always evolving. So these articles are of great interest to me, so please keep them coming. If you enjoyed today's episode, please forward on to your friends, and I love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching.